Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. It's the 23rd of October, and you have found the Everything Buckeye Nation show. I am your host, Jake Smith. Next to me, as always, Corey Boyd. Corey, I'm going to need you to pick up a little bit of the slack tonight. Feeling a little under the weather. Didn't make it into the old office today. A little sore throat, a little cold going. So
Okay.
as the saying goes, playing hurt but not injured.
All right. I've had many of those days. You guys have been with me through this journey when I'm hurt but not injured. So I got you, brother. I got you. I'm in the passenger seat. I'm not a passenger driver like a lot of people, when you make that turn at wall, slow down. Hey, I got this. But I got your back. You're not 100%. But me in the comment section, our fans got our backs because they're as passionate as we are when it comes to our Buckeyes. So we got you, brother. We will hold you down.
Well, I believe it. I appreciate it. Everybody in the comment section, of course. And I gotta say, I'll admit, I am one of those drivers, but or one of those passengers, I should say. And I'm trying to work on it. Because I gotta just let go. I can't control it from over there. All right. Nobody wants to hear that when you're driving, so getting better at it. But just gotta let go and let God. Am I right?
Exactly.
Appreciate all folks in the comments section. Timothy Roberts, Lee Travis, everybody watching, supporters. Appreciate you guys. Ohio State has a big showdown on Saturday at noon with the Wisconsin Badgers coming to town. I thought this game was going to be the game of the year about 12 o'clock last Saturday. The Badgers had to go and ruin it for us, man. They had to go and ruin it for us. How are they going to do us like that, man? They lost to the Rutgers of the Big Ten West. I don't know, man. I can't believe they lost, 24-23, I think it was. Props to Illinois. Props to Lovie Smith for getting his biggest win as the coach there. Props to that kicker. I remember watching, thinking, boy, I don't want Wisconsin to lose this game. But if this kicker misses this field goal, he is going to hate himself for the rest of his life, and I don't want him to feel that way. So, I'm happy for him. The kicker got carried off on the shoulders of his teammates. He got the post-game interview. Good for him. That's what college football is all about. That's why you like college football, because that kind of thing can happen any given Saturday.
My guy Kyle in the comments at church rehearsal. He'll listen to part of the show. He's in the choir. Shout out to you. Thank you for listening. That's why I love our fans. Wherever they're at, they pop us on. Maybe not for the whole show. And hey, I don't expect you to listen to the whole show if you can't. But whenever you can, we appreciate you guys. Thank you. Everybody in the comments. Lee Travis says, now we win. The narrative will be Wisconsin wasn't that good. Hey. The narrative always changes with Ohio State, and I could give a rat's tail of what people say about us, all right? I don't care. Just go out and win. And this is where me and Jake, we kind of change. I could care less about that kicker's life. I wanted him to miss, all right? I wanted the wind to blow it to the left. I was like, please miss. I was trying to pull out every jinx I could because guess what? You have one job, and that's make the kick. He does it all day at practice. This is what he does. So if he missed, I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have felt bad. I wouldn't have been like, oh my God, what's he going to do? I don't care. Now, is that mean to me? Probably. But guess what? That's me. It's what I do. I wanted him to miss because I am selfish. I wanted it to be undefeated Wisconsin versus Ohio State because you're right. Now the narrative is going to change. Well, they're not that good because they lost to Illinois. They squeaked by this team. They squeaked by that team. I don't care.
I tell you, man, it's got to it's got to be difficult for Ryan Day now because for the last 3 weeks, really, we were preparing for this game, and all the players know this is one of the biggest games of the year. Even with that loss, they're still the number one defense in the country, Wisconsin has, coming to town. But I tell you what, since the Buckeyes played Friday against Northwestern in a blowout, beat them by 7 touchdowns. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that game a little bit. But since they played Friday, I would pretty much bet that most of the team was in the facility on Saturday watching the Wisconsin game as a team. That's an advantage you don't ever really get. So I think Ryan Day made sure to get those boys in there and watch the game together. And me watching that game, I'm thinking, wow, Wisconsin's not that good. They're not that good. I thought they were supposed to be these world beaters. And Illinois puts up 24 on them. Brandon Peters at quarterback, a Wolverine transfer. Are you kidding me? And I got to think that some of the players are thinking the same thing. Like, well, damn, I'm not really too worried about it now. And that's what Ryan Day's got to fight, because you can't have that attitude if you play for the Ohio State Buckeyes, because that's how you get beat. And Ryan Day said that in his press conference on Tuesday. He said that, over the whole year, really. He's like, you never know what can happen in college football. So you got to be prepared every single week, week in and week out, because we know it's happened to us in the past. That's what he said on Tuesday. He's like, hey, that's happened to us each of the past 2 years. We understand how that goes, so we're trying to fight against that. And I tell you what, I still think Wisconsin, it's not like Wisconsin is going to be playing extra hard this week. We're going to get their very best anyway, so don't give me that. Now they're going to be really pissed off. Like, this is their national championship. This was it for them, the Badgers, this weekend. And it still is. Nothing has changed in that fashion. But I think you're right when it diminishes the value of the game, because if Ohio State wins by 3 touchdowns, it's going to be like, well, Wisconsin wasn't that good. But if Wisconsin was 7-0 and we beat them by 3 touchdowns, people might be saying, damn, this Ohio State team's pretty good. I don't know. You got some comments over there?
Yeah, I'm just reading comments. Timothy Roberts said, what do you think? What's up with these big cameras? They look elementary. I talked about that on my supporter video. Shout out to all the supporters. We love you guys. $4.99 to support. Jake will give you his Netflix password if you go. I talked about that. That pregame show for the Northwestern game, if you missed some of my rant, listen, okay? You are a big time company. Now, you're not me and Jake here. Listen, if we want to do a show with our phone, then we will do a show with our phone, because we don't get paid absolutely nothing. That pregame show, the camera quality made me want to go pull a Jake and run around my house. That's what it wanted to do. Just run around my house, find a baby seal, and throw it somewhere. What did the seal got to do with anything? I don't know. But that's how bad the cameras were on that pregame show. It was terrible. I don't know what was up with that. And please, no more Friday games, because I don't want to be on the Big Ten Network. And somebody else in the comment section, I lost it. They asked about, what do you think about Lord Jesus. Don't put him and Urban in the same comments. What about Harbaugh getting an itch to go back to the NFL? What are our thoughts on that? Now, here's my problem with that. If you were winning, that's what it's called, an itch to go back to the NFL. You're losing, so you're trying to find an escape route. That's what it should be called. Jim Harbaugh looking for an escape route to get out of Michigan without it being called getting fired. That's what it should be called. But we should start a GoFundMe here at the Everything Buckeye Nation to keep him in Michigan. I don't want him going anywhere. No. Stay right where you're at. You are a Michigan man. That's where you need to belong, because you have gave us years of comedy, and they have pain and they're hurt. I don't want you going anywhere to no NFL team. This is where you belong. I find it a joke that you are looking for weight. And I don't know how true it is. I don't know if it's a rumor, whatever the case may be. But if it's true, I think it's a joke that you're finding a way to the NFL because you can't cut it at Michigan. We need to start a GoFundMe account to get him to stay where he's at, because that's where he belongs, because he's making our life great here at Ohio State.
I tell you what, and he has come out and refuted those claims. The story was that his, like, Harbaugh's brass, if you will, or his, like, agents or his posse, whatever you want to say, were reaching out to NFL teams expressing interest. And that was the story, that it wasn't him, it was like his team, his guys. Well, he doesn't have a team. He doesn't have a brass. He doesn't have his guys. It's literally him. He doesn't even have an agent because he's that kind of crazy that just does it all himself. It was the same when he came to the Wolverines. He didn't have any agent or anything negotiating or having all those tough conversations or whatever. He just does him. So he came out today and he actually sent a, you know how the kids nowadays when they decommit, they'll like type it in their notes app and screenshot it and put it to Twitter or whatever. That's what he did. He typed out a note and sent it to all the parents and said, sorry for the informality of this message, but I thought this would be the quickest way to dispel the rumor. And, you know, that's fine. I'm with him on that. But you're right. It's like normally when you're trying to make the leap to the NFL or something like that, it's because you're succeeding at a very high level, and that's just not the case. Saw a good video on Fox Sports today of Joel Klatt talking to Colin Cowherd, and I can't stand Cowherd, but I do like Joel Klatt. And he made a good point that Harbaugh, if you average Schembechler's years with the Wolverines and Lloyd Carr's years with the Wolverines, Harbaugh is averaging more wins per year than those guys were. And their point was that, like, we're expecting the Wolverines to be something that they've never been. They've never been that elite program like Ohio State. They have 5 seasons in the history of Wolverine football with 11 wins. We had 11 wins every single year Urban Meyer was our coach. I mean, it's just a completely different playing field, and that was kind of their whole thing. And it's like, who are they going to get if Harbaugh does leave or if they fire him? Who are they going to get that's going to be able to keep the Wolverines at that high level in terms of relevance, I suppose, because they are relevant, because they're talked about all the time and have all this media coverage, and that's great. But they haven't finished better than third, I think, in the Big Ten East. Not even just in the Big Ten, but in their own division since Harbaugh's been there. And I don't see that changing this year. Ohio State, Penn State, Wolverines have a tough stretch to go. They've got Notre Dame this weekend. They lost a tough one against Penn State. Did you watch any of that game at Penn State on Saturday night, Corey?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched
the whole game, and I was actually impressed with the fight back I saw the Wolverines, because they went down 21-0 fairly quick, and I was like, oh baby, this one's over. That's normally when you see a team either rise up or fall apart. And I thought they would fall apart, but they didn't. What did you see out of that one?
Yeah, I thought they were going to get smoked. When it was 21-0, listen, I don't talk a lot of trash like a lot of people do, because you never know what's going to happen. When it was 21-0, I bet you a lot of people went out there and was like, ha, this game is over. You're about to get smoked. 56-3, Nittany Lions. And then they came all the way back, and you probably wanted to delete your message. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. delete. Because they came back. And a couple dropsies, you never know what could have happened in that game. So, I mean, they did fight back. I call it how I see it. They still lost, and I still was laughing. But it was not the beatdown that I thought was going to happen when it went 21-0. I thought they were going to get beat down. They still lost. An L is an L. But I did watch that game because I wanted to see what Penn State, what they were going to look like at home, prime time, against Harbaugh and the crew, what they were going to do. And actually, if I'm honest, y'all can kill me in the comments, I'm kind of glad they came back on Penn State. I'm kind of glad, because if they smoked them like I thought they were going to smoke them, I'd have been like, whoa, okay, this Penn State team ain't nothing to mess with. We got to really watch out. But now when Penn State, I'm not looking past Wisconsin, but now when Penn State comes here, I'm like, all right, we'll be okay. We're good.
I'm with you, man. I think we'll be just fine when they come to town, and hopefully that's like a 3:30 game. I'd be surprised if it was a night game that late in November, but we'll see. A few of the comments here. I see a lot of people talking about DeJuan Jones, the 6'8", 360-pound left tackle. I was excited to see him. He was the road paver, the lead blocker on Master Teague's 73-yard touchdown run. I don't know if I was gonna say seal the game, but that package was signed, sealed, and delivered long before Master Teague took off.
Yeah, man.
But I mean, so let's talk about that game for a minute, okay? We talked about it last week. We were worried about this game all off season.
Yep.
Spooky on the road.
Yep.
Big Ten West wearing black uniforms. And on a Friday night, no thank you. And yet, it was just domination. Again, we go into each and every week. Is this the week Ohio State's going to be tested? And the same answer every week. Nope. Not this week. Maybe this week against Wisconsin. But I tell you what, after seeing how they performed against Illinois, I wouldn't be surprised to see them win by 3 touchdowns. Maybe 4. Maybe more. This team is playing at a completely different level. Somebody said in the comments section, I didn't see who it was here. Mo Junie says, honestly, I feel Ohio State's on a different level than any Big Ten team this year. I totally agree with that. I mean, it's something special, man. I was worried, and I didn't think we looked very good at times, and we still won by 7 touchdowns on the road in the Big Ten at night. Hey, I tell you what, you were pretty close. You were pretty spot on with your bold prediction too of Master Teague.
He didn't get enough carries from our bold prediction to become in fruition. He just didn't get enough carries, and now I'm okay with that. I mean, I wish he would have got a little more. I get wanting to get J.K. Dobbins the ball. I understand it. But in the game like that, when it's over, I would rather see him on the sidelines, chilling, getting Master Teague a little more carries, saving J.K. from when we really need him. But I understand getting reps, getting him the carries. I get it. But listen, you know you're a good team when you got to try to find things to get mad at. That's where we're at now. Well, you know what? Listen, that out route wasn't ran to the precise way I wanted. That's what we're getting at now with this team. And that's good, though. That's what you want. You don't want glaring things like, oh, my goodness, we gave up 30 to Northwestern. That's where we were at last year, where you could just easily come on here today and be like, we gave up 30 points to freaking Northwestern. That's where we were at last year. Now we're like, well, woo! I mean, geez, we got to find things, nitpicky things, to get mad at this team about. I mean, I was totally wrong on this game. Until last week is when I came in here and said, I'm not worried now. But all year long, I came on here sounding stupid. Northwestern, watch out, guys. Watch out. Northwestern, guys. I'm telling you, Friday night, the way they play, the grass is high. Ooh, quick screens. Boy, I sounded absolutely stupid. And I'm glad I was. They just mopped the floor with them. Justin Fields only threw for 195 yards? Is that what it was? 195 yards?
194.
4 touchdowns. Very efficient. I mean, just beautiful. The way you would love to do it. I know you guys were happy with the game because it was over very quickly. Beautiful.
That second quarter, man, that second quarter onslaught is just outrageous. And we make those adjustments early on because teams, there's a reason why these guys are head coaches at the Big Ten level. They're good coaches. They can game plan and scheme well. The difference is the talent that Ohio State has in comparison to Pat Fitzgerald's teams, and that we can make the adjustments on the fly instead of waiting till halftime like we used to.
Yes. Corey Shoemaker in the comments. Sorry to cut you off.
Do it.
I just read it on there. He said Ryan Day's quick adjustments of waiting it out on the fly wears them out. And I wanted to point it out against Northwestern.
Nice.
Northwestern didn't adjust, and Ryan Day did. It's like in the first quarter. It's like we're kind of backwards now, if you notice it. When we come out with our scripted plays, we're like, we're decent. We don't know what to do. And then Ryan Day says, oh, that's what you're doing. Okay, watch this. He just hit him with a bevy of out routes, and Northwestern didn't know what to do. like they couldn't stop it. We don't want them to get beat deep. All right, fine. I'm just going to outroute you to death until you stop it. And they couldn't stop it. And he said, I'm going to keep doing it until you figure it out. And they never figured it out. Corey Shoemaker right on the point. And y'all may have said in the comments, that's the first one that I seen. Ryan Day and his adjustments, it's just spectacular. You hit it on the head too, Jake. Well, it's something we haven't seen in a while, man.
No. We were always waiting until halftime and hoped that we made the adjustment in the Meyer era. But yeah, you remember the first drive of the second half where Austin Mack literally caught like 3 balls in a row for first downs on a 12-yard out route? It's like, are they going to step up? Are they going to play press? Are they going to do anything? Or are we just going to take this the whole way? And we did. And then Fields found Austin Mack on the other side of the field for a little bit longer of an out route, and he scored. It was like, man, I tell you what, Fields threw for 4 touchdowns and only had 5 incompletions. Normally, sign of a pretty good day. Appreciate you guys in the comments section here. Sean Nupp, Joshy Washy. Didn't think I'd ever say that on live television. William Dunn, our relative Buckeye hater, I suppose. I think he's a Bama fan, if I recall. He's picking Wisconsin to win, 23-21. Preston Dunn, Tavares Sowell, Mike Bowers. Appreciate all you guys in here. Lee Travis, of course. My mom is in here. She said she's babysitting watching Cloudy with a chance of meatballs. Well, hey. I'm glad you got us on too, Mom. Appreciate that. But yeah, man, I don't know.
We got a YouTube comment over here. I'm probably going to butcher this name. I'm just going to spell it. PSYOPS says Borland shouldn't be a starter. He still gets torched too much.
Man,
thank you for watching. Thank you for watching over on YouTube.
Yeah, go check out our YouTube page, Everything Buckeye Nation. Hit that subscribe button for us. Tough Borland's having a tough go. And sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze there for a sec. Without Baron Browning on the field, like he didn't play last week. I think he had a minor groin injury, is what was the rumor. Of course, that's the one thing I don't like about this new regime with Ryan Day. Everything is a secret. You never know who's hurt, who's not. Hell, Baron Browning was my pick last week. He was my bold prediction pick, and we found out like the day before the game, oh, he's hurt, he's not playing. It's like, okay, well, I don't know. I mean, we don't know anything, and they don't say why. They don't say, like, he's out with an ankle injury. It's just like, oh, he's not playing tomorrow, and I'm not answering any questions about that. It's like, all right, well, why, I guess. I don't know. I don't really understand it, but without Baron Browning in the linebacker core last week, Tough Borland had to play a little bit more than usual. And let's get one thing straight. Okay, everyone wants to see Baron Browning way more than Tough Borland, and I agree with that. Baron Browning, you can't play every snap of the game at linebacker, okay? He's not going to be out there 60, 70, 80 snaps a game. They're going to rotate Tough Borland in for 30 of those, I'd say. And I like it that way. There's a reason why our defensive line is so good is because we're deep and we rotate guys. So in the fourth quarter, when the offensive linemen are setting back to pass for the 30th or 35th time in the game, it's Chase Young's like 15th or 20th pass rush. And he is fresh, and those guys are tired. And that's the same thing they do with the linebackers, and I'm all for it. You got to have that rotation, fresh legs on defense, stay hungry, stay healthy. Tough Borland's going to play, and I'm okay with that. Missing Baron Browning hurt us last week, which is funny because we let up like 160 rushing yards, which is like the most we have all year, but it was 3.3 yards per carry. All right? If Wisconsin's going to rush for 200 yards on us, but it takes them 50 carries, I'm okay with that. Shut them down. Make the quarterback beat us because from what I saw on Saturday, that ain't happening.
Yeah. I think it's something's happening outside. I can't see out of my window, but first of all, something on YouTube. Timothy Roberts says, I do seriously like the YouTube stream better more than Facebook. I'm going to need him to elaborate on that. He said that a couple of times. I don't know if it's the audio quality or something, but thanks for that. And William, our Alabama fan, says he loves these guys, but for real, OSU is the best team in football right now. Should be ranked number 1. Whoa. Uh-oh. Is it about to snow in Columbus? I don't know what's going on. Shout out to that. Appreciate that. I don't know what is going on.
As Nick Saban,
Whoa.
as William Dunn's coach Nick Saban would say, that's rat poison. We don't want to hear that. We don't want any of that. Appreciate it, though. Hard to disagree with. They've been playing, Ohio State's been playing the best football of anybody in the whole country, opposite of maybe LSU. They've beaten 2 top 10 teams when they were in the top 10. Now, Texas ain't in there anymore, but and they got a chance for a third against number 9 Auburn this week. Now, far be it from me to dispel an SEC team in the top 10, but I think there's normally 2 contenders and the rest pretenders in the SEC, really in any conference. And it just so happens that there's like 4 teams, maybe 5 in the top 10 that are SEC teams. It's Bama and LSU. And by the way, if Bama doesn't have Tua, I'm not sure they're a top 10 team because Mac Jones ain't cutting it. Did you watch any of that game Saturday night when Tua went out? They looked.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance. I was only watching the Penn State Michigan game.
They did not look good. There's no doubt about it. And if it weren't for some very, very suspect calls by the officiating crew, Tennessee would have been right there in that ball game. If you follow me on Twitter, it's at Jake Smith EBN, as in everything Buckeye Nation. I retweeted something yesterday or 2 days ago. I think it's my last tweet. Go check it out. It's a compilation of the questionable calls from that game, and it's outrageous. It's just, I cannot believe the audacity of the officiating crew. It's just garbage. But it's Alabama, so they got to protect them with Tua out, and they did not look good without Tua, man. And they're going to beat Arkansas this week probably by 40 because Arkansas is terrible. And then they got a bye week before LSU on the 9th. Boy, that's going to be a fun one. It's in Tuscaloosa. Alabama, LSU.
Okay.
Might be a pseudo playoff game.
All right, listen, we got some people over on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, let us know where you're watching from. Where are you watching from? Make a comment. I will definitely shout you out. Travis Walker says, coaches on defense. Timothy says LSU earned the number 1 spot over everyone else. Cheryl Tucker Moore, my mom, is also watching over on Facebook. She says, hey, fellas, Buckeyes need to play every game like a championship game. And Tim also says, what is the Buckeyes' next trap game is his question. When's the next projected trap game? We are running out of them. I'm going to say there is none. I'm going to say none.
Not this weekend?
Definitely not this weekend. No. I'm going because of the coaching staff. I'm just going on from what this coaching staff has shown me. When you kept asking me before, I'm saying, watch out for Northwestern. Watch out. I'm going to say none. This coaching staff has got this team playing. Now, don't you make me look wrong now. But from what I've seen, he is coaching this team up. Now, of course, you can't play the perfect game, obviously. But for 4 quarters, they're playing football. He's not letting them take their foot off the gas. End of story. Beat down. Night. Now, is every game going to be a beat down? Probably not. But you get what I'm saying. You have your slow portions against Michigan State. You had your slow start against Miami of Ohio. It was, 5-0. And some people was, oh, my God. No, come on. It's not going to happen. But I don't see a trap game because the coaching staff has this team ready to play football, not looking ahead. Every opponent they're taking seriously. You just have to go out and execute. If they happen to lose a game, they're just going to lose. It's not going to be because they took a team lightly. A team is just going to have to go out and beat them. It's not going to be a lack of we won a game and we're so pumped up and we go into the next game. Oh, we just beat whoever it was. We're the greatest team ever and lay an egg. That's not going to happen. Or we're looking ahead to this team and we're playing whoever it is and lay an egg. I think if we lose a game, that team's going to have to outplay the Buckeyes for 4 quarters. We're not going to overlook anybody. I don't see a trap game for the rest of the schedule. It's just if we get beat, we're going to have to get beat. Unlike previous years when we come out and just lay the egg of all eggs and nobody sees it coming.
I think you're right, man. I mean, we've had a couple trap games the past couple years where we just, there's no realistic expectation. And it's funny, like, even last year, going into the Purdue game, we were talking like, look, this isn't a trap game because of how many people are talking about it as a trap game. Didn't matter. Got beat by 29 by Purdue. Good God. Right. But that was last year. We're done talking about that. We're moving on. This is a different team, different coaching staff. And I think you're right, man. Coaching staff is not going to let it happen. And I like how the schedule works out. It works out in the Buckeyes' favor. We got to talk about that a little bit because this schedule the Buckeyes have, we had a tough stretch of games, but if you think about it, we got Michigan State at home. We get Penn State at home. We get Wisconsin at home. We really just have to go on the road at the Wolverines. I mean, Nebraska was on the road, but they suck. Northwestern sucks. And the way the bye weeks are split up is perfect. It really is perfect for this team. We had the first 6 weeks of the season and then a bye week. It was perfect. We come out against Northwestern, a little tune-up before Wisconsin, and then a second bye week. If we get through Wisconsin, because that's what coaches can talk about. Obviously, it's a huge game this week anyway, but they can talk about, look, we just got to win this game, and then we can push the reset button, get healthy, relax before the Final Four stretch, where we have Maryland at home, who we'll probably want some revenge on for making it so damn close last year. Woo. Then we're at Rutgers before we hit Penn State at home. That might be the biggest game of the year, Penn State. And Rutgers just simply isn't good enough to spring the trap on the Buckeyes. So we could run our threes out there all game and probably still win handily. Yeah. And then we're not going to be overlooking Penn State for the Wolverines in Week 12, but I just think the schedule sets up really well, and the coaching staff is going to be able to just coach this one game like it's our championship this week because we don't have a game next week. And we can just get healthy, relax after winning this game, and get ready for the stretch run because that's when it gets real. I guess if you could say anything was a trap game, maybe Maryland, but I don't really see it. Maryland comes to the Horseshoe on November 9th. That's going to be the first game after the college football playoff rankings come out. So say we beat Wisconsin by 3 touchdowns. Say it's 38-17. We look dominant. And then we don't play next week. Like, nobody plays next week. Bama, LSU, we don't play next week. College football playoff rankings come out. Say we're at number 1. Say, you never know. I mean, the first rankings don't really have that much of effect on the rest of the season, but they do a little bit. So maybe they put Ohio State at 1. So we're coming off this bye week. We're the number 1 team in the country. We saw what Maryland did to us last year. I'm just saying, I guess it's possible. I don't see it happening, but it's possible if I had to pick a trap game. But like you said, man, this coaching staff is different. And these guys, this team is different. One thing I want to talk about, going back to the Northwestern game, let me know in the comments if you guys saw this. I'm sure you guys saw the highlight, the field goal. Blake Haubeil, 55 yards. That puppy was good by 60. I mean, that was outrageous. It was just a tremendous effort by Haubeil. And probably Jim Tressel's, like, he probably knocked over his tea sitting in his chair watching that because we down the punt at the 1 yard line. We stop him on 3 straight run plays, call timeout, get the ball back, and kick a 55-yarder at the buzzer. And Haubeil's running off like he won the lottery, and so is the rest of the team. Chase Young was like the first man to greet him. Are you kidding me? If that's not a sign of a close football team, I mean, that's special right there. When your potential number 1 overall pick defensive end is the first to celebrate with a kicker for hitting a career long, that's special, man.
Yeah. We got a couple on YouTube. Charles Valentine says he's in Lexington, Kentucky. Go Bucks, OHIO. Ryan says he's from Warner Robins, Georgia.
Sweet.
Timothy says crazy to look back at FAU. They scored the most on us. He understands it's the first game. Just funny.
That is funny.
And Timothy says we got to be humble though. Taylor is a beast. It's respectable as Barkley. You got a good point, man. That kick, we can look back on that. This may sound the most ridiculous thing I have ever said as I have been on this show, and I have said some ridiculous stuff. If you've been riding with me from day one since I've been on and joined my good brother Jake. But that could have been the most important play of the year so far. I know that could be the most ridiculous thing ever, but just think about it. A kick, I know, that had no really important outcome on the game. We ain't win by 3. It didn't swing momentum, but the confidence it gave in him and the coaching staff to call on him, because later on in the year, we may need a kick that could swing a game. And guess what? His confidence is sky high. When he came out to kick an extra point, man, he was his kick. Man, I got this. You never know. We could look back at that kick later on and say that was the most important play so far this year, because now he's got the confidence to go out there and just kick it. Because these past couple years, every time the kicker goes out, what do? Oh boy, what's gonna happen? Oh boy. So I'm just saying, I'm with you, Jay. When he knocked that through, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, oh please. I was like, oh please. And when he made it, I said, sheesh. That was big time.
You know, you have said a lot of goofy stuff on this show, but I tell you, man, I am with you. The confidence that instills. I mean, Ryan Day, man, that is a heady move, man. I mean, that is big time. Because like you said, yeah, if he misses, so what? We're still up 25. But if he makes it, I mean, he's not going to trot out onto the field one more time this year not thinking, I'm making this kick. Or you know what I mean? I mean, it's just fantastic because you're right. We will need him to make a clutch kick. If we're going to win it all, we are going to need him to make a clutch kick, maybe 2, maybe 3. To have that confidence booster just goes a long way, man. I mean, he's playing a long game here, Ryan Day is, and he just continues to knock it out of the park. And that ball, that field goal, man, really good. Probably, maybe my favorite play of the game. Couple other favorites that stick out, I'd say Master Teague's touchdown run because I love the man. Was excited to see. It was nice to see Chase Young's sack on the second play of the game. It was like, okay, so this is how this is going to go. And another play I would like to say is Justin Fields, Buckeye offense converting a 3rd and 15. I don't know if it was the first drive or when it was, but Justin Fields avoided a sack, avoided a couple guys in the backfield, rolled to his right, and found KJ Hill for about 17 yards on 3rd and 15. And it's just like, man, that's what we miss with Haskins. He wasn't the most mobile. Fields.
He wasn't? What?
You might be surprised by that, but that's just how I see it. I may be wrong. But
he's not a runner, like Stephen A. said. He's not a runner. What?
My mind is blown. Well, with about 15 minutes left here, let's talk about the game this weekend. How's everybody feeling?
I got a good question for you. Sorry to cut you off. Laura BP wants to know, what do you think about Northwestern disrespecting when we were just singing Carmen, Ohio? Did you see that?
No, I didn't. What happened?
Yeah, she actually sent me the video. They were playing music and just being disrespectful as we were trying to sing. I mean, they were jamming. We were trying to sing. She actually sent me the video because I didn't get to see it. I don't know if you guys seen it, but they were playing music. We were trying to sing, and they were not having any of it. She wants to know your thoughts on it. Here's my thought on it. Listen, I'm not shocked at all. You make your grass high. You water it. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't have a little gopher run out during a play. I'm not shocked at all that they did it. You got your butt whooped, beat down. So what else are you going to do? You got to salvage something out of the day. I'm not shocked. Am I mad? No, not at all. We beat them down. Do what you got to do to make yourself feel good inside. If you don't want us to sing on your field, that's fine. We beat you down on your field. Have at it.
I mean, I'm not surprised either. Last time we were in Evanston, it was 2013, I believe, and me and a buddy went up there for the game. Both teams were undefeated. College game day was there, and Ohio State won 40-30 or something like that. It was. We actually recovered a missed lateral on the final play of the game and scored. Joey Bosa scored. It was his freshman year. Joey Bosa was a true freshman, and they tried this little hook and ladder play and didn't go well. And anyways, the point is we beat Northwestern, and on the way out, I'm wearing my Buckeye gear. So is my buddy, and this college student from Northwestern was like, "Man, you guys suck. You beat us by like 10. I thought you were supposed to be like national champion favorites this year." And I was like, "What?" Like, we played a hard-fought game. Like, I respect your team even more now. Why would you even, like, you're putting your own team down by saying that. You know what I mean? And so I'm not surprised that they're playing music over Carmen, Ohio. But at the same time, I don't really care. I mean, it is a visiting field, and I'm sure our marching band was playing awfully loud, and they didn't want the 14 Northwestern fans that were still there to have to hear that on the way out.
Yeah. I don't care. I guess I don't get mad over stuff like that. You just got your butt whooped. I mean, go ahead, play a little music. Play your music. Be upset. Shout out to my guy, Big C Got Game, in the comment section on YouTube. He says, OHIO. And if you haven't, like I said, man, before we get going, I like people who have talent. That's just what I am. I'm not a hater. And if you have not checked out his YouTube page, man, go ahead and check it out. Big C Got Game over on YouTube. Very talented brother, man. He does big things over there. Check him out.
My guy's like, 15 or 13 subscribers away from 1,500, something like that I saw on Twitter. So give the man a subscribe. Puts out great stuff, especially some NCAA 14, the last college football game to be released. Got a lot of good stuff on that. So if you're like me, and you can't play the game anymore, you like to watch other people play it, Big C Got Game. Check him out. So let's talk about Wisconsin. I am decidedly far more comfortable sitting in this chair tonight than I was last Wednesday night. I don't think that I'm just not impressed. I mean, I watched a good bit of that Illinois game, but really just the fourth quarter really is what I really saw. And they just blew it. They had plenty of chances to run away with it, and they just blew it. They gave Illinois opportunities to win the game, and then Illinois, who sucks, comes away and steps up. They have the number one pass defense in the country, and they let Brandon Peters, a guy who couldn't start for the Wolverines, roll out of the pocket, make a man miss, and fire the ball 40 yards downfield for a touchdown to bring them within 2 points. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm just not as intimidated as I was, and I hope that the Buckeyes themselves aren't taking it that way. And you got to trust in the coaching staff. I'm sure they're not, but I'm not nearly as worried about this game as I was last week. How do you feel about it? Let us know in the comments, too.
I'm not going to say I'm not worried, but I will say this, because you can't never not be worried about a talented Big Ten team, because you never know what they can do. But I will say this. My confidence level just got a lot higher after what I seen them play against Illinois. I will tell you that, because Illinois ran up and down the field against that number one defense? That's what they're supposed to be called?
Yep.
That's what they're supposed to be called. Now, I'm not poo-pooing them. I don't want to come off as that because a lot of people take me the wrong way. And you've never played college football. How could you? Man, y'all watch a lot of people on TV that ain't played college football, and y'all worship them like they're the next coming of. I'm going to keep it nice. But anyways, all right? I'm not going to say that. But I watched Illinois run up and down the field like it was nothing. So that made me feel a lot more confident, but we still have to play the game. I think Wisconsin is going to come in here pissed off because they blew their chances of anything because they're not going anywhere now. It's not going to happen. You can't lose Illinois and going anywhere. It's just not. Championship aspirations are done for Wisconsin. So what's the next best thing? Ruin ours. That's how they're going to come in here. So that's their calling card now. What can we do? Now, listen, Wisconsin just doesn't have a quarterback. They just don't. It's Jonathan Taylor or nothing. That's how you win. Jonathan Taylor or nothing. Their quarterback, it's just like Hornibrook, okay? Hornibrook, I think he was one of the worst quarterbacks I've seen in my life. He was absolutely terrible. When he dropped back the pass, I said, thank you, Jesus. We win. So that's it. We stop Jonathan Taylor. We win. End of story. Now, easier said than done, but my confidence level is high. And for some reason, our scripted plays don't work as well as they should. So as soon as we figure out what adjustments we do on offense, I think we'll be good as well. I know we're not in the prediction part of it, but my confidence level is a lot better once I seen what Illinois' offense did against that defense.
And at the same time, I completely agree with you. It's Jonathan Taylor or bust for them. And when's the last time Wisconsin beat Ohio State by running roughshed with their tailback? Ron Dane in 99? I mean, we shut down Melvin Gordon when Melvin Gordon was a Heisman finalist, held him to 76 yards on 26 carries in a 59-0 beatdown. They had the number one defense in the country, and Melvin Gordon was the best running back in the country, and he got nothing. And you know what? They didn't have a very good quarterback. Go figure. In 2017, Jonathan Taylor's it was his freshman year. I don't know his exact numbers, but he did pretty well, but not enough for them to pull it out. And they made it close at the end, sure. And Dwayne Haskins should have played that game, and if he did, I think Ohio State would have went to the playoffs, but we're not talking about that. Jonathan Taylor needs to have like 250 yards and 4 touchdowns if they're going to beat Ohio State on Saturday, and I don't think that happens because Jack Cohn's not going to do it. Unless their defense really is the number one defense in the country and Justin Fields has a couple picks, maybe they get a couple defensive scores. They have scored, I think the Badger defense has scored 4 or 5 touchdowns this year. Up until Illinois, it was like twice as many as they had allowed. That's how good that defense is, looking like the New England Patriots out there. Then Illinois goes out, puts up 24 on them, and they weren't tackling. I don't know if you saw that near the end. I mean, they literally ran the ball to get into field goal range, and their tailback was bouncing off of Badger defenders. They were like going for the shoulder check instead of wrapping up. It's like, that doesn't look like a Wisconsin defense to me. I don't know what happened. But Jonathan Taylor is not going to be able to do it for the Badgers this weekend, plain and simple. Give me your score predictions. I want to hear them. Score predictions, bold predictions. So give me your score and give me a player and a stat line or something along those lines. Do you have a score prediction or bold prediction or anything, Corey? I got something lined up, but
yeah, I'll give it to you. I got some comments over here. It looks like Timothy just subscribed to Big C. That's good. Good. All right, we got a new subscriber for Big C. Hey, we just got to look out for each other out here in this world. Big C says he's hyped for this one. Tired of hearing fans saying Ohio State hasn't played anybody. I'm predicting the Buckeyes win by 21. Yeah. And then Tim says, how the hell did Wisconsin drop when Georgia lost to a backup at home and are still in the top 10? We will never escape SEC bias. My bold prediction, I don't say it's bold because I'm not going with a player we haven't talked about. I'm not going with a backup that nobody's heard of. I'm going with J.K. Dobbins here. I Oh man, don't tell me that was yours. Was that yours? Did I
That's
steal it? We,
back-to-back
we don't
weeks.
we don't talk before the show. We don't do none of that. This isn't scripted. We don't know what we're going to say. But the reason I'm going JK, I don't want you to switch it neither because I want you to keep what you had. I don't want you to switch it because I'll pick the same one. I want to see what your reason was. But the reason I'm going JK is because he feels disrespected that nobody is putting him as a top running back. Nobody says his name. It's Jonathan Taylor, Jonathan Taylor, Jonathan Taylor. This is the number one defense. So I think Ryan Day knows this. JK knows this. Ohio State knows this. Justin Fields is talked about a lot. I don't think enough when it comes to the Heisman race, but that's just me. I know there's Vegas betters, but whatever. But I think they're going to give the ball to JK, and I think they want to make a point. They've seen Illinois, like you said, the running back bouncing off of people. I think they're going to run the ball. They may pass to open it up a little bit, but I think they're going to run JK. I think he has 179 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. That's my bold prediction. J.K. Dobbins. Buckeyes win 38-17 over Wisconsin.
Wow.
That's my bold prediction for J.K., and that's my score.
Very, very similar predictions. I had JK as well. I'll give you another one in a minute, but I had JK going for 176 and 3 touchdowns.
Wow.
Man, I mean, and you've been spot on. You've had JK a couple times this year saying he's going to have 170 something, and you're exactly right. And it's for the exact reasons you said. He's not talked about. He said earlier this year, before the season started, I feel like I'm the best tailback in the country, and I'm ready to prove it because he called last year a failure. Still at 1,000 yards. And by the way, we didn't mention in that game against Northwestern, J.K. Dobbins moved into 5th all-time rushing at Ohio State. I don't think a lot of people know that. He's 5th all-time. I mean, pretty good company. You got Archie at 1, of course. Zeke at 2, Eddie at 3, Tim Spencer at 4. He needs like 166, I think, to pass Tim Spencer this week, and I think he'll do it. In fact, say we play... If we play... I crunched the numbers the other day. If we play 8 more games, or 7 more games, so we've got to get to the Big Ten title game and then play a bowl game, because we're 7-0 right now. If we play 7 more games, he only needs to average like 76 yards per game to pass Zeke for number 2 all time. That's happening, okay? It's happening. Book it. Unless he gets hurt. God forbid. J.K. Dobbins, man, is the real deal. And his stats, minus the touchdowns, are better than Jonathan Taylor's right now. He just doesn't get fed as much. There's a lot of touchdowns to go around. Justin Fields has scored like 32 on the season or something. Can you imagine if Justin Fields was playing at Wisconsin? It'd be pretty damn good. Same with Penn State. He was originally committed to Penn State. That'll be a good storyline in a few weeks. But I got J.K. Dobbins, 176, 3 tutties. And then I'll throw in Sean Wade. Gets a couple turnovers because he was right there about 3 different times last week, and he's the real deal in my opinion too. Sean Wade. Enjoy him because I think he's gone after this season. Everybody talks about Chase Young, Jeff Okudah, and that's fine. I think Sean Wade could be a first-round pick as well, so enjoy him while we got him. I had Buckeyes 38-14. Could make it 41-14. An extra Hobbiel field goal maybe from 56 this time. Probably not, but I think the Buckeyes come out. It's going to be a struggle in the first quarter. Probably one of those, 3-3, 7-3. I'm expecting a Michigan State type of game where Ohio State blows up in the second quarter as we do for 14, 17, 21, something like that. We've scored 21 points or more in the second quarter in each of the last 6 games. That's ridiculous. And it continues on Saturday. So I'll go bold. 41-14 Buckeyes. That score has a painful memory in my heart of the Ohio State-Florida national title game, but It's going to feel good this Saturday at about 3:30. Let's see what you guys have to say in the comments. Tavaricel 51-10. William Dunn 45-13. 45-10. Corey Shoemaker. Everybody's talking about Fields and J.K. Dobbins. I'm with you. I mean, those two are going to lead us to victory. David Hemphill says Chris Olave is a real deal. Also might be our best wide receiver. So much talent on this team, man. And they've all bought in. It's just so nice to see. You got anything on YouTube over there?
YouTube, Timothy says he loves our bold predictions. They are reasonable. Thank you for that. Laura BP, shout out to Laura. I probably missed a whole bunch of comments on Facebook. I apologize, but I love you guys in the comment section. She's calling out my brother for a bold prediction who has retired. He is not Brett Favre. He is not Michael Jordan. Once he retires, that jersey is firm and planted. He might make a suggestion, maybe. I don't know. But once he's retired, he's retired. Shout out to everybody in the comments on Facebook. I seen Mike Bauer says Taylor has less than 100 yards in the game. If that happens, you might as well book it, stamp it, notarize it, whatever you do to make yourself official. If that happens, it's a wrap for sure.
I feel pretty good about it, man. I really do. I think Ohio State will come out. They still got something to prove. People are still talking. They haven't played anybody, which is annoying that Wisconsin lost to Illinois, but it's college football. Play who's in front of you. Take care of business. So I think Ohio State gets the job done on Saturday. Get a much-needed week off. Prepare for Maryland. Prepare for Rutgers as much as you need to before Penn State and the Wolverines. Punch that ticket to Indy. Let's get back to the playoffs. It's a blessing to be a Buckeye fan. That's for damn sure. You got anything else, Corey?
That's it. I want to thank everybody that watched on YouTube. Hit that bell to the right. Subscribe. Get those notifications when we go live, usually Tuesday or Wednesday. Timothy says, love y'all. Get well, Jake. OHIO to you.
I-O.
And Big C Got Game says, facts. Appreciate y'all. Oh, well, what was that? Appreciate all y'all. That's why when I talk too much, it gets horrible. So that means it's time for me to go.
Appreciate everybody watching. We'll probably do something Saturday for a little supporter, something along those lines. So stay tuned for that. Be a supporter. Join the club. Appreciate you guys. But that's going to do it for the show. That's Corey Boyd. I'm Jake Smith. Appreciate producer G getting us all set up to go tonight. We miss him. Hope he's doing well out there in sunny San Diego.
Shout out G.
Appreciate all you in the comments as always. So
got us looking good.
Sure does. Appreciate you guys. OH.
IO.